Hello, welcome to my podcast. Welcome to my son de front. Today I have a list of things that I want to go through in depth. Today is a day that it's it's a long time in coming, but I do have, like I said, a few topics to discuss, and I want to thank you for joining me today. So stay tuned for the the how do you call it, the other stuff, but I have a focus today, and I wanted to talk about because I feel like we need to talk about everything, but also I have like a main subject that I wanted to hit on, and it's types of deluded people and validation. So this is to do with people that we come in contact with, traits, characteristics of people, and also dating, marriage, relationshiping, and what you might find within yourself, what you might find in people around you, or maybe even someone you're pursuing as a romantic love interest. So the first thing I wanted to go through was types of deluded people. I thought that was funny, and I wrote Infamy, Unwanted. Like, these are notorious traits, just toxic traits that you don't want. And we hear a lot about men being toxic masculine, we hear about misogyny, and we hear about men being, how do you call it, degenerate, like they're not smart enough or whatever. Like, just men are better at labor than doing chewing gum and walking, and so that said, I want to dismiss all that, because on here it's red pill. On here we don't advocate for cliches and biases against men, and it's a very tolerant community here. We are very inclusive, and I'd like to say, stay tuned if you're interested in these type of topics. I'm gonna cover more things, but for now, I just wanted some lightheartedness. So Infamy, Unwanted, and these traits, you can find them in B-listers, non-playable characters, NPCs, and beta males. And those are just men. I'm gonna get to the girls, but the B-lister is like when somebody works very hard, they're a workhorse, and they're working, and you can find this in some marriages. They say these men work, and they're just into getting the money, and for whatever reason they just work themselves down and wore themselves out, and it's like you doing this and you're not gaining anything. So it's like blindly being a neutral part of your own life, and it kind of goes into non-playable character, because the non-playable character are you can see them, they're very much a part of the world that you're surrounding yourself in, indulging in, you're immersed in. But these people are not like actual interactive, communicative people. They'd be about, as how do you say, as smart as a nail. Like, you can't really do anything with them. So the next thing is beta males, and it's kind of like the first one, where they're just like doing everything for no reason, but these actually do things for a reason, but they always fail, and they're always considered the losers because they always never have an actual reason for their drive. They don't have, like a non-playable character. It's not an actual in-depth thing. Like, it's like just it's just a like a mascot. And so the beta male, he's, you know, seeking and pursuing and interested, but yet he will never actually attain the things that he is seeking and pursuing. In women, I can tell you that I find the Tate girl more and more, how do you say, not just common, but more and more accepted. This is a type of characteristic that you can find in a girl who is highly influenced by hip-hop culture, the culture, and is very much, you know, I guess, you know, into you know, getting BBLs in the DR or whatever. And, you know, like, those are the type of women, you know, that very plastic, very they're kind of NPC, because they're like really trying to get out there and be a part of a world in which is not based, it's not a real, it's a shallow reason for existing, you know. Just, how do they call it, securing the bag. It's very cliche of what you would call a nefarious woman. The sugar baby in training, she is always trying to get her hair appointments. She's, no matter what, she's you know, very, very focused and driven by, you know, money. These are like another, you know, it's like another level of being greedy. It's another characteristic that you can find in somebody, you know, that wants this lifestyle that they would not work for, you know, like the B-lister, where they're always working. Well, this person doesn't want to do any, you know, they're washing their hands of anything dirty, you know, to get dirty and earn, you know. So that's that. The Tate girl, the sugar baby in training. So the next one I wanted to talk about was a what did I call it? Let's see, the Tate girl, the sugar baby in training, and what was the next one? Let me see if I have it in here. Let's see, because like there's so many, like, but the ones that I wanted to talk about we never get to. And so well, actually I wanted also to talk about the female simp. So the female simp would be she would be considered a feminist, and she would be well, the female simp is not like a she's not like a regular feminist. She's actually into men, and that's what she wants. She wants to make sure that her man's okay, but she has no interest in, much like the sugar baby, she's into it for her own personal gain. So there's no win-win situation. There's no 50-50. It's only a personal interest, and valued and stopped at the profit and money aspect of things. Let's see. And oh, and I also wanted to talk about the glamorization of machos in the media. If you remember within the past few weeks, there was a MLD podcaster, influencer, that was caught, you know, dragging the, how'd you call it? the women's, women, I guess would, you know, a womanizer, and he was like caught saying that, if women should find themselves in a relationship that harmed them and their children, that they should stick through it. Like, if there's like a way out of that, he's thinking like direct them into further duress. And I'm thinking he shouldn't have said that. And when I had watched one of his shows, he had actually berated a lot of the people in there, and I felt like he needed to, wake up, because like he's not the main character, and machos, actually, the glamorization of them, it doesn't stop at men. And I know I used a man as an example, but machos, they're actually women too, and these things that they have been doing lately are hurting. As women, we're supposed to nurture, and we're supposed to be vigil, but if you're dragging us down and trying to demean us as a gender, you're gonna end up doing harm. And I think that machos, are male or female, glamorizing this in the media is not helpful. It's actually gonna hurt the community. And that's why I want to talk about things like that. And I like bring some funny subjects up, and like I joke around, and and I bring up other people, but I want to tell people who are watching, watch out for this thing. This is not like, this is kind of how they say bias, toxic masculinity, misogyny. This isn't something that you want to listen to and put inside of anybody's brain. You want to stop things like that from happening, because this could potentially cause, locally, around the globe, worldwide, it could cause other people to be influenced and think that, hey, you know what, there's no consequence. But actually, hurting 50% of the gender either way is going to hurt 100% of the community and its members. So listen, and don't absorb this stuff. It's hate, and that's what it is. So let's see, that said, I also wanted to talk about misogynism and predation on vulnerables, because like I said, it's being it's like a weaponization, a tool. When you glamorize it in the media, it's going to give them a platform, it's going to give them a bigger voice, it's going to give them a massive following. So when you see that, and you see it state sanctioned, like, how you say, when somebody turns the other way, when the judicial system, when there's legislation, when the entire government is just like, oh, well, the women are suffering. Oh, well, you know what, they need to get over it, because we have some things to do and work on, other than, what issues we could do, we could handle and regroup the way things are going, retract, redirect, put things back on the right path, make things right for everybody. I said, is this cultivated by deep-pocketed industries? A deep-pocketed industry, maybe there's money involved that is being funneled to these people, and it's helping aid the flourishing of toxic, deviances, toxic biases. And when you do that, in an industry, it's gonna affect everybody, because we're the ones who are consumers. We're the ones who consume things, and if we don't know why it's there, if we don't know what it's doing, the effects of it, you know, what is it for? We need to ask that. What is it for? Because, you know, is it doing more harm than it is good? Because if it's doing good, then there would be no need to bring it up. There would be, you know, and like in the Tate interview, they told him straight up, they said, you know, there's so many inquisitions right now. And he just brushed that off and, you know, started bragging and dragging the red pill following that he had amassed. And you know that in these types of shows, you know, you're gonna find racial biases, and that alone, you know, is, you know, considered toxic. It's considered what do you call it? It's considered, you know, harmful. It's doing bad things to people who are neutral to the space. Not only that, but like, who's your following? Do you not care? You know, do you not care about you know, the minorities, the ethnicities? There's so much, you know, wealth backing these things, you know, and I just want people to realize, you know, what harm it's causing, what harm it could cause if it's continued on into the future. Another thing I wanted to bring up, no shoes, no shirt, no service. You know, people claiming that, you know, when you say, oh, no bonnet, no sagging pants, you know, you're saying we're raggedy people. You're saying that this brown group is gonna come in because they want to steal, right? You're saying that. You're saying we're not gonna serve you because you're causing something unwanted in my business. You're causing diminishing profits, or, you know, monetary, you know, to run this service that, you know, only you're gaining from. But actually, you know, I think it's just like exploitation, you know, racial cliches, digs, and buffoonery. That I wrote that down. Racial cliches, digs, and buffoonery, because that's all it is. You know, you want to dig at races, you want to group everybody and box everybody into cliches, you want to be racially charged and claim just in servicing the community, but actually it's just buffoonery. You're just making a mockery of actual human being, period, you know. And this new shoes, no shirt, no service, that's fine, you know. You don't want somebody coming in and dragging and through your stuff, but like, come on. Like, when you post something and you're just mocking a group, you're just, you know, being biased and showing people and proving people zero accountability, that you have no responsibility on your end on how you present yourself, that you're disrespectful and biased, that you're not for the community, and in which case you can take your services elsewhere. Because we're, you know, as a member of the community, I don't believe in your work ethic. I think that you should have some ethics and values. You should have some foundation in your upbringing before you even come on and use your money towards, you know, earning a profit in where I live, you know, in my world, period. Because, you know, you're doing more harm than good. So yeah, I think I covered it all. So yeah, it's been a while since I podcasted, but you know, I did want to come back and say, you know, my piece, because there's so many things that happen in this world, and the world is crazy, but you know, we gotta stay focused. We gotta stay, you know, keep our minds open to a better way, and that's why we are all here. That is why we all joined up. We're a team, and we are members. You know, who's to say one day we may be there? You know, we don't need to be on that level of buffoonery. And so thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Bye.